What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. So, it's been a while since I made a video about cheat meals, cheat days, etc. and stuff like that. And I don't think I've ever actually covered this part of it before, which I think that anybody out there who's getting involved in bodybuilding competition, if you're not competing, you're just getting into, let's say, like modeling or whatever the case may be, or, you know, let's say you're just fucking Instagram, you want to be Instagram famous, and that's your new thing, or you just want to get shredded for that, whatever the case may be. Nobody's really going to talk to you about this, probably because they don't really think much about it, or they don't really know how to explain it. So I myself have gone through this millions of times. My clients go through it all the time, and that is cheat meals. Oh, when is the time for a cheat meal? When can I have a cheat meal? Or refeeds. Oh, what can I have for refeeds? Now, here's the thing, guys. Be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. Okay? Bear with me. So, as you start your diet, your metabolism is probably at the slowest point it's going to be at, unless you have a fairly fast metabolism. In that case, you're not dieting. You're not going to do a diet. You just look shredded all the time. So you start your diet, and you're doing diet for like 2, 3, 4 weeks. Now, let me just kind of disclaim from the beginning. If you don't want a cheat day from day one on your diet, then you're not a fucking human being. That's just how human beings are. We don't want to give up pizza and fucking Chinese food and tacos. I don't want to give up any of that shit. But sometimes you're going to do that to get shredded, right? So you start the first couple of weeks. Of course, right away you start. I mean, you want your fucking cheat foods, whatever. And then it's already in your mind, like, oh, when am I getting my first cheat meal? Maybe it's going to be this week. Oh, it's week number 2. Maybe it's going to be this week. Oh, it's week number 3. Maybe it's going to be this week. And then finally, sooner or later, some people crack and they just go, oh, when can I have a cheat meal? When can I have a refeed, right? And you're looking at them and I'm like, you're making progress, like really good progress right now, right? And you're hungry, right? Yes, I'm hungry. Now, as hungry as you are, you don't know true hunger. You don't. Like those kids in Somalia and stuff, in Ethiopia and stuff, when you see those pictures on TV with the swollen bellies and they're very, very sucked out and gaunt, they know what true hunger is. We don't in America. I don't give a shit how much deficit you're in. I don't give a fuck. You don't know what true hunger is. So the way that you can kind of understand, and you can't even understand. You know what? Let's just fucking scrap it. You can't understand. But you're going to feel more hunger. Okay? More uncontrollable. I wouldn't even call it true hunger. More uncontrollable hunger when that cheat meal or that refeed is put into your fucking program. Now, this is how it works. And I mean, you guys out there watching this, if you've ever done this, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. So let's say you're going through your program and you're fucking killing it. It's like 6 weeks in your program, 8 weeks comes, 9 weeks, whatever. Okay, 9 weeks, you're hungry as fuck. You want some tacos, you want some pizza, you just want anything other than the fucking food that you're eating to get you to where you're at, right? And your coach goes, all right, fuck, right now it's time. Let's put a fucking cheat meal in there, right? Or a refeed. Doesn't matter. You know what? We're going to go through both of them. We'll go cheat meal. We'll go refeed first. So he says, all right, on Sunday, we're going to up your carbs from 150 to 500 grams of carbs. And you're like, holy shit. You're like, that's a huge amount. Okay, just do it for this one day. But on Monday, we're not going back to 150. Monday, we're going to 75. We're going to drop the carbs even lower because you got all that glycogen from the day before. Now, even if you don't drop down to 75, you go back to your normal 150, the same fucking outcome. I'm just explaining to you guys so you can see a carb cycling as opposed to just a refeed too. And you eat those fucking carbs all day. Sweet potatoes, rice, regular potatoes. You're loving life. Oatmeal, you're loving life. You're like, oh man, you're sitting there starting to retain some water in your face, but you're getting vascular everywhere. You're actually getting kind of a pump sitting there because you have all this extra glycogen and water in your body. Like, this is fantastic. And then you get to the end of your 500 grams of carbs per day, those macros, and it's time to go back on your diet the next day. You go to bed. Now, you'll probably be eating pretty late if you're eating 500 grams of carbs, but by the time you go to bed, you might actually not feel full anymore. You might actually feel like your stomach is digesting that food really well, and you just feel kind of normal. Not hungry, not full, just normal. And that's after 500 grams of carbs. You wake up in the morning, fucking hungry as fuck. Ravenously hungry. After those 500 grams of carbs in your body's secreting all that insulin all day long, just pushing insulin. And that insulin drops when you fucking are done eating those carbs. They're done digesting it. It fucking goes to your bloodstream and it drops once it clears all that glucose. You are so fucking hungry. Now, it's not just from the blood sugar, too. Your brain literally thinks it's starving the whole time you're on your diet. So you give it this big burst of food and it goes, holy fuck, we're good. Like, we found a whole bunch of food, we're good. And then it drops back out again. Your brain literally thinks it's fucking starving. And you're like, it literally freaks the fuck out. And that hunger signal gets so fucking bad that your brain it keeps pushing that signal and pushing that signal, and it gets harder and harder to resist because your brain now thinks it's really starving. It's in a bad place. And it wants those 500 grams of carbs back. Now, hunger can be almost uncontrollable at this point. Now, that is what happens for Monday when you're back on your diet, Tuesday when you're back on your diet, Thursday when you're back on your diet. Guess what? When Friday comes around, guess what happens? It's getting even worse. Saturday comes, it's getting even worse because you can deal with it because on Sunday you're getting another refeed, your coach says. And then what you do is literally do the same fucking actions again. You eat it. By the time you go to bed, you feel normal. You wake up the next morning fucking starving. And you're hungrier, faster, and more uncontrollable the entire week until you get that refeed again. Now, the same is true for a cheat meal. However, here's the fucked up part. It's not just the macronutrients. It's not just the blood sugar, the glycogen your brain wants. Your brain wants all that other shit, the salt. It wants all the chemicals. It wants the sweetness. It wants the tanginess, the tartness, whatever the fuck you eat. It wants that again. That food, cheat meal wise, is going to give you a dopamine and a serotonin rush. And that is what your brain loves. That's a fucking drug. Like your brain sees that as a fucking drug. Whatever it fucking gives it that rush is a fucking drug. It gets a drug-like effect to the brain. That's what fucking heroin and stuff works. It floods the brain with serotonin and dopamine. It makes you fucking high. Now what happens is you're putting all the stuff that normally would have a response to the brain, but you're combining that shit. Your cheat day, when they say just stay at 5,000 calories and just eat whatever the fuck you want for the day, well, you're going to run the gambit. You're going to get the tacos, you're going to get the pizza, you're going to get the beer, you're going to get the fucking cake, right? You're going to get the potato chips, something salty, something sweet, something fatty, something fucking makes you drunk. I mean, you're running the gambit, and your body's like, thank fucking God that thing is over. Your brain is like, oh, we're good now. We're going to fucking party it up, and we are good to go. And then you don't just pull the macros, meaning the glucose out. You now pull the fucking salt, the fucking tangy, the tart, the spicy. You pull all that shit out too, and you're back on fucking chicken breast and broccoli. And fucking your brain loses its own fucking mind. It goes insane. Your brain fights with itself. It can't even understand how the fuck it goes from that one day to the next. Like, it's unfathomable to your fucking brain. Even though your brain is this amazing processor, your brain just knows survival, right? Well, your brain, you guys get what I'm saying. Your brain as an organ knows survival. Like the electronics or the way the electrical impulses and stuff work, fire, everything. But bottom line is your brain wants to survive, just like the rest of your body. Like, your body is there to help your brain survive. So as you start making these huge, drastic changes like that, it puts you in a fucking bad spot. Now, that is when I've had most clients, I have never done it myself, but I've had most clients break their diets and fuck things up, was when you entered the refeed or entered the fucking cheat meal. Almost 90% of the fucking time, I'd say, they break their fucking diet that week. By Wednesday, they're eating something they shouldn't, and then they're fucking feeling guilty. By Thursday, they're trying to crank out cardio so they don't have to fucking get on the scale at the end of the week and do a check-in with me and be like, oh, I don't know what the fuck happened. They can just fucking, I did everything. That's why everything worked this week. And what happens, it doesn't work that way. The more cardio and stuff you crank out on that Thursday after cheating in your diet Wednesday makes you more fucking hungry. By the time Friday comes, you're losing your fucking mind again. By the time Saturday comes, you really can't even wait till Sunday, and then they start rationalizing, well, you know, Saturday at 9:30 p.m. is almost Sunday. It's midnight is Sunday, so I'll start now, and then I'll cut back on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, so it's still 24 hours. I've heard it all before, guys, but believe me, refeeds and cheat meals do have their place. Not everybody can handle them. That is another reason why so many fucking people go, Jerry, you know, how come you have almond butter in your diet, but you don't have peanut butter? Right? Like, why can't I have peanut butter? And I'm like, the fact that you're asking why you can't have peanut butter is why you can't have fucking peanut butter. The fact that you're just like, okay, this is the list. The fact that you're like, well, almond butter, I'd rather have peanut. You like peanut butter too much, okay? 99% of people out there like peanut butter too much. And you tell them to have a fucking tablespoon? Listen, I can fit fucking, okay, let's say it's my tablespoon. I can fit this much fucking peanut butter on a fucking tablespoon and say it's a tablespoon. Like, you can fit half a jar of fucking peanut butter on a tablespoon and call it a tablespoon. Even if you told them to fucking weigh it out, they would weigh it out and lick the fucking thing a little bit more. It's very uncontrollable. So there's reasons why I do everything with clients. There's reasons why things are done in general. And people would call them bro. They'd call them this. They call them that. I mean, yes, you can call them bro, but they're bro for the sake that we're trying to help people stick to their plans. We're trying to help people stay on track and not damage themselves and go backwards and then have this internal struggle with themselves back and forth, where the struggle really should be one day after another moving forward. Not moving forward, taking a step back, not knowing, go 2 steps back, fucking argue with this. But like, you can't, you're never going to get to where you need to go. So be aware, guys, the cheat meals and stuff and the refeeds and other things, like everybody's going to have a different opinion on. What I can give you is 28 years this year of knowledge from in-person practical application in the gym with clients over the last 20 years. And yeah, those refeeds and cheat meals, they may be fun for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, however long you're eating, but trust me, you pay for it for a week, and that to me is just not worth it. BioStrengthTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. BioStrength.com is the blog. It's not worth it, bicep, and we are out.